Hi everybody, this is Cindy with Twisted True Crime. Hope you're all doing well. This is part one of a series I call What's Not in the Shadows. On Tuesday, August 14th, 11:45, Frederick, Colorado, Officer K-9 responded to search and rescue for 3 people that were reported missing: Shanann, Bella, and Celeste, her 2 children. Here's a photograph of Shanann with her 2 babies. With Chris Watts' permission, he allowed a full search of his home. And there he is standing on the left with his arms in a defensive posture. He had spent the night cleaning except for the basement. Upon entry to the home, they immediately noticed a strong odor of cleaning chemicals. He had recently vacuumed and the house was spotless. And here's some screenshots of the vacuum in the hallway, right near the basement steps. There's a visible stain on the carpet. And he is pointing this out, and Officer Lyons doesn't think that's blood. Chris mentioned that he had made the girls' beds that morning and had done laundry. Here's Bella's bed day before. Very next morning, she has clean sheets and bed's fully made. Same thing, here's Cece's bed, how they found it originally. And on August 14th, her bed's made and looks like she still sleeps there. Originally, here's Shanann's bed. There's stuff thrown in the corner and there's no sheets. The next day, it's all staged. It even has Shanann's clothing folded. So he said he had a hard time sleeping, and he's used to his little girls throwing chicken nuggets at him, and the other one sitting in her high chair. Here's a screenshot of Shanann's suitcase at the bottom of the stairs. Here's on the 14th, her suitcase has now been moved. Here's the officer's assessment of his behavior. He showed no emotion. He didn't respond appropriately to the situation. You can see how sweaty he is, and he looks very nervous. He did not ask any questions, and he didn't offer to help at any time. His facial expressions rarely changed. He had a flat affect. He was doing a lot of self-soothing with his posture. But when he did, he seemed to smirk and smile inappropriately, especially if the question was about him or his shirt. He displayed a lack of empathy, specifically when speaking about his children, which is very telling to me. Here he is in the Jack and Jill bathroom, and he can't wait to get out of there. His voice remained low and even-toned. His nonverbal cues were very apparent. He always has like a defensive posture. His arms are crossed, and he's really tense. He lacked eye contact and appeared to be nervous, and he looked around constantly, which he did. Here's when they found Shanann's phone. He's looking like, uh-oh, busted. Here's the cadaver dog. Comes in to look for dead bodies. Her name was Jane. She had her K-9. She went in with Officer Lyons, and as they moved through the home, she explained what type of scent the dog alerts to. Sometimes the dog alerts where there's been some sort of trauma or struggle, such as an argument, explaining that scent from people, pools, and collects in areas. Jane's dog was later taken to his truck, which was parked just east of his house. Here's the picture of the truck being towed away as evidence. Here's a photo of the back seat of his truck, which is sad. The dogs detected but gave no hard commands, and then they left the door shut and they left. And then they called in the tracking dog. While in the home, the tracking dog was asked to enter, and it was Jeff Hebert, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, and his K-9. It was the black lab. There they are on the front porch. He stated his dog showed interest in the unmade bed in the basement. And here they are down there between the basement and the wall. This looks to me like Shanann's suitcase. What do you guys think? So, the dog alerted below the basement stairs. There he is hitting, and you'll notice there's a router box. A dog did hit inside the storage cabinet as soon as they opened the doors. And they also hit in the corner of the basement near the girl's little trampoline. The dogs did not do any final trained alerts. And they exited the basement and went upstairs to the garage. And here's the tracking dog. He's like a little hero. The dog did not do any final trained alerts. Then Officer Perez and I think Officer Tak brought in specialty canines. Perez arrived on the scene. He was with Frederick Police Department at 11:45 a.m. to look for Shanann, Bella, and Celeste. Officer Lyons asked Chris for consent to have the officers collect samples in the home for a scent. And he gave consent. Since he spent all night cleaning, he's trying to cover up the scent. Prior to the beginning of the search, he explained what would be needed for the dogs to have a successful search. Chris showed the deputy a basket of laundry in his bathroom. He advised his clothes were mixed with Shanann's clothes. And each time the deputy asked him about specific items, he mentioned he had touched them in some way. He advised the deputy that Bella and Celeste's dirty laundry he had touched and put in a dirty laundry basket. And the deputy was not able to use any of the dirty laundry. He made sure of that. He advised he made both Bella and Celeste's beds. And here's a very telling statement. He had touched the covers and the pillows. Asked about the shoes on the back porch, Chris said the girls wore them to a pool party. The shoes had been wet, so he put them out to dry. They asked him what they were wearing on Sunday night, Monday morning, Bella and Celeste, and he couldn't recall the pajamas or the nightgown that they were wearing that night, which is bullshit. The deputy was able to collect, finally, the scent from shoes. And my observations, I have a lot. Officer Lyons inquired about the ability of the K-9s to pick up a scent from car seats that were wet. And the birthday and pool party was on Sunday, August 12th. So why were the car seats still wet 2 days later? And why didn't Watts put them near the shoes on the back deck to dry? Did he hose them off in an attempt to hide something? Here's the results of the K-9 searches. The cadaver and K-9 dogs did not alert to any of the bedrooms. They didn't alert to anything upstairs. They didn't alert on the main floor of the house. And they did not alert in the garage. But they did alert in the basement. They alerted to the far corner near the girls' play area, under the steps, and the bed. So the remarks made, he has his nose down to the ground a lot. This is an area of interest. It may be sent from one of the others, meaning Bella or Celeste. Under the basement steps, he stated something had set him off down in this area. Officer Lyons and the dog handler observed the unmade bed. I think Jeff should come down in here. Look at that. Oh, here's a baby car seat. It's between the bed and the basement wall. That intensity, he hasn't shown that intensity. This has not been cleaned up like everything else. It's called the element of surprise. So this may be her scent, meaning Shanann, and he was talking about the bed. Here's a summary of Watt's activity on Sunday, August 12th. At 8:46 a.m., Kessinger calls in for 30 minutes. At 10:32 a.m., he sends Shanann pictures of the girls at the party. Here's a photo of them at the party. Here's the sweet little angels, Bella and Celeste. And here's a sadistic weirdo, Chris Watt. At 5 p.m., Watts and the girls FaceTime with Shanann's dad one last time. 5:06 p.m., he texts his co-worker to tell him he'll be out at Survey 319 in the morning. At 6:44, he takes a picture of the temperature setting in his fridge. At 6:47, he takes a picture of 4 chicken breasts on his grill. His neighbor reports it was odd. She did not see or hear his daughters playing. At 7:46 p.m., he tells Shanann the girls are in bed. Watt's iPhone tracks his physical activity, and at 8 p.m., there's a dramatic increase in his activity. Does this indicate the murders of his daughters? From all indications, Shanann loves taking photos of her daughters as they sleep. Here's a photo of Bella. And I think it's either Bella or Cece, and their little baby. And her love is profound. She asks Watts to send her a picture of the girls after she learns they are asleep. Instead, he sends Shanann 2 photos of the girls eating pizza. And here are the photos of Watts on August 11th at the Conoco gas station. This was the date night he had with his little girlfriend at the Lazy Dog restaurant on August 11th. The pizza photo was taken on Saturday when he requested the babysitter. Here's sweet little Bella sitting there eating her pizza. And notice how grainy the image is. One is the last known photo of Cece. This is her last picture in life. It's so sad. He sends a photo of Bella at the birthday party to Shanann, the last known image of Bella in life taken at the party. It's just unbelievable. She's wearing a pretty purple little dress, and Watts has styled her hair perfectly. Purple is Shanann's favorite color, and she commends Watts on her hairstyle. At 9:28 p.m., he talks for 2 hours with Kessinger. He tells Kessinger he's going to Surrey 319 directly in the morning. In a subsequent police interview, she said she heard loud TV in the background. Meanwhile, in Arizona, poor Shanann is going through a world of hurt. Shanann's flight is delayed. She has been physically ill all weekend. She has confided to her friends that she suspects he's having an affair, and she is emotionally drained. She repeatedly texts Watts updates about the weather, power outages, flight delays, and he doesn't respond from 9 o'clock until about 11:30. And then he finally responds and says, "Holy crap, sorry I passed out on the couch. That's gonna be late." Then at 12:51 a.m., Shanann's phone connects with the Southwest Airlines Wi-Fi. She says, ready to be home with Chris and the girls. At 1:25 a.m., Shanann told Cassie they landed. This is the last outgoing communication found on Shanann's phone. At 1:48 a.m., his phone logs a vivid alert of Shanann's entry into the home, and here she is. At the same moment, Vivint captures Shanann as she walks up to the home and enters. Also captures Nicole Atkinson's car backing out of the driveway. At 2:01 a.m. in a group text, Nicole Atkinson tells Cassie and Shanann, "We're home." Red flag. Shanann definitely would have responded to her best friend if she were alive. Between 1:48 a.m. and 4:23 a.m., there's no movement on the main floor of the house. Shanann's phone is inactive and it's dormant until 7:40 when he sends the staged text. His iPhone picks up his activity again. At 2:18 a.m., the home's router logged an unspecified activity in the basement. Apparently, he set off several alerts. The basement door. In fact, CBI Tammy Lee mentions this to Watts. In his latest confession, Watts cannot recall being in the basement. She points out, "You sure took a lot of steps that night." This is from Vivint, stating, "You will not be able to arm your home and trigger a false alarm if you don't bypass the sensor the correct way." At 5:18 in the morning, he starts his work truck. He backs up into the driveway at 5:27. And at 5:45, he leaves. Here's some of Watts and Kessinger's conversations. At 5:01 p.m., August 13th, she made 2 unanswered calls to Watts, both deleted. 5:30, he makes an unanswered call to her, deleted. At 11:09 p.m., they talk for 51 minutes, deleted. On August 14th, 2 minutes after midnight, she searches Google for Shanann Watts. On August 14th, 2:07 a.m., he makes an unanswered call. She calls him back in seconds, and they talk for 15 minutes. Was Watts doing meth? My opinion. Okay, so Saturday night, they go to the Lazy Dog. They do their little tryst. He goes out on his date. He goes to the pool party on Sunday. He's still not sleeping. He's not. He murders his family. He disposes of them, and he works a full day on Monday. Still no sleep. He spends the entire Monday night cleaning his house. Still no sleep. He, Kessinger, and his mother all mention Lavelle patches. Here is an image of the patches on his back. He looks as if he has been experimenting with drugs. Here's his face. He looks totally sucked up. He's dropped 14 pounds in 2 weeks. Here's his appearance in May when Shanann was telling him she's pregnant with Nico. He still looks normal, sort of. But then here's him when he's arrested. He just does not even look like the same person. So his little macronutrient girlfriend with her clean eating, I don't believe that for a second. Look at his pupils. Very closely. Look how dilated they are. Notice the size? That's very telling right there. No Lavelle patch is going to do that. Watt's first with Kessinger no doubt included methamphetamines, because he appears to have been on a meth-fueled binge. Here's my theory. You may agree, but you may not. Watt surprises Bella and Celeste with a slumber party in the basement. Little children love the thought of sleeping in tents. I was a little kid once with sisters. We love that kind of thing. We love having pajama parties. And anywhere that is close to home, yet is a deviation from the norm, so you still feel safe. So they would have thought it was a big deal to sleep in Daddy's man cave. I believe Bella would have been killed by Watts first. She was older, was more intelligent, and would have instinctively tried to protect Cece. Bella sustained a lot of injuries because she fought back. Bella was not smothered with a pillow. He used his bare hands. I believe Cece was asleep while this took place in the basement of the house. I believe Watts smothered Cece after bringing her down into the basement because there was no evidence of strangulation, which he claims. I believe the precious girls were already gone when Mommy arrived home. Because he had disabled the indoor Vivint sensors on the main level of the house. He powered off the Netgear router in the basement. This is why her phone did not pick up Wi-Fi when she came home. I believe when Watt's phone alerted him to Shanann's arrival, he was waiting for her with a big smile on his face. And he had open arms and kisses, and the minute she walked in, he did that, which gives her a false sense of security and relief. And she believes her old Chris is coming back, which is wrong. I can visualize him saying, "Hey, I look, the girls have a slumber party down in the basement." Boo. She probably thinks it's really great that he's taking an active interest in the girls again. So she puts her suitcase down by the bottom of the steps and willingly follows him down to the basement because she wants to see her little precious girls. I sense they were stashed underneath the steps. That's where he put his little daughters. He placed his left hand around Shanann's trachea and he squeezed, pushing her sort of backwards until she falls onto the bed. For 3 to 5 minutes, she definitely would have fought back, but couldn't. I can see Shanann on her side in a fetal position trying to protect her baby. His prison confession contains a lot of half-truths. When he claims, "I don't think I pinned her arms down with my knees," that's exactly what he did. I don't know how this confession brought any sense of closure to Shanann's family. He did admit to killing his own family. Yet he elaborated about what he did and how he did it, in like a shocking fashion. Sometimes a victim's body is posed to send a message to the police or the public. I believe he did this with Shanann's body. The way he positioned her in the shallow grave, it was as if he was posing and staging her body and humiliating her even in death. She was face down. I'm no expert, but still believe in my heart that he murdered his family at home. I'd like to hear your comments. Here's the candles, lit as memorial on their steps. Please comment, let me know what you think. Okay, take care, everyone. It's a very sad subject, okay? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.